Hey, I'm gonna tell you about a little known niche in this real estate space. All right. Little known niches are great. You like niches? Niches, you don't have a lot of competition, right? That's how you be successful. You find a niche and now everyone else is doing it. Okay. Helps you make a lot more profit. Okay. I'm gonna tell you this niche. You ready? Anyone looking? It's called infill lots. Infill lots, right? In town. All right. So you're a wholesaler, you cruise around, talking to people, whatever. And you know, you get a house under contract. Okay. Well, then in wholesaling, you get under contract and you figure out the numbers, what's the need, that kind of thing. Go to cash buyer, present it, you show them the value of the how the house, the rehab will fit within the business model, the kind of profit they're going to be making. They're good with it. You sign the contract, you make 5-10 grand. Okay, cool. That's how wholesaling works, right? We know that. But what's an infill lot? What's this all about? Okay, oftentimes when you're in town, you're going to see vacant lots. Okay, or even better, we'll talk about how you can create vacant lots out of nothing. Okay, but you see vacant lots, and if you're just into wholesaling, fixing for fix and flip guys, and maybe you aspire to be a fix and flipper in the future. That's all you're focusing on, okay? But oftentimes, infill lots can make you a lot of money. Let me explain what I mean by this, okay? I'm in a big where I live. There's a lot of development now. The market's crazy hot. Back in 2008, the market crashed, and there's all this development just stopped for almost a decade. Just nothing. Okay, now it's just hot, crazy, people buying. Anyway, so that's what's happening. Okay. And developers, they have deep pockets and they make a lot of money. I mean, when you see developments going on, what I mean by developments, big subdivisions, okay, a lot of cash. And it takes a lot of cash to do it. Takes a lot of time, but the rewards are just crazy awesome. 3, 4, 5, $10 million, $20 million per deal per product. Does that make sense? Okay. So buyer builders are always, developers, that's what they do. They like that because the profit is so incredibly awesome. Okay. If you start out just doing, fix and flip, okay, well, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand, maybe 100 grand. Good. That's cool, right? On one deal. And if you got, 4 or 5 you're working on, now you're making, 50, 60, 100 grand a month, 200, whatever. That's fine. Not knocking that. But if you can do multiple subdivisions where your payoff is millions of dollars over, phases, is great ROI. Okay. So that's how developers think. Okay. But to do that, you have to have a lot of cash to get into the deal. Does that make sense? So here's what I mean by that. For buyer builders, guys who aren't banked, they don't have 100 million in the bank. Okay, they don't have partners with that kind of cash, deep pockets. They want to get into this. They know hot markets in town. Okay, because people like to buy typically in town, or a subdivision is going to be around town. Every once in a while you get a developer who'll say, "Hey, I got this new deal way out in the mountains here, and we'll have this all cool place." And a lot of PR, they actually get people to move there. But for the most part, development is in town. I mean, you look at maps, right? There's a town and it grows. Town doesn't go here and then over here, right? You get me? Follow me? Right? It's kind of gross. So there's value in town. There's value in the area, okay? But so here's the point with infill lots. Infill lots essentially are vacant lots in town that buyer builders really covet to build on because they know they have a good market in town. People want properties. There's great locations, for houses. So infill lots are a way that you can, if you connect, you figure out what buyer builders are looking for. They don't have tens of millions of dollars, but they have some money that they can buy individual lots, these infill lots, and they can put spec homes, customized or even customized homes if possible, but homes that they know will sell in these infill lots, and they are looking for them all the time. Okay, these guys are buyer builders. That's what they do. They're buyer builders. Okay, they're good at framing and contractors and permits, things like that. Okay, they're not the greatest marketing guys. Obviously, you may, well, that's what I do, and I'm good at marketing. Okay, cool, and God bless you. Okay, but the point of wholesaling, right, is you're adding value to somebody. So you connect as a wholesaler, you connect with one of these buyer builders, figure out what they're building, what their business model is like. Okay. What, and they're going to have a small little, 1,200 square foot, 3-2, they're going to have a 1,600 square footer, a 2,000 square footer, and a big one, 3,500 square footer. And they know what their cost per square foot is to build. And yeah, it's going to fluctuate because the price of lumber is going crazy right now. Whatever it is, those numbers, they have a spreadsheet and they know what the cost is, right? And they know what they could sell them for. So they're always looking for buildable lots in town, okay? So if you get an opportunity, you're talking to a seller who's got a house for sale, and if he's got a couple lots maybe nearby or whatever, pick those up. And you can then assign those, wholesale those to a cash buyer, okay? That's what people are looking for. And it's so much easier, to do that, to make extra money in your wholesale business by looking for infill lots. Buyer builders are always looking for them, okay? So what do I mean by that? When you're looking in town, look for buildable lots, okay? And you want them to be buildable lots. And if they're not buildable currently, figure out what it's going to take through your planning and zoning or developmental services, what it's going to take for it to be buildable, okay? And there's going to be a bunch of stuff you need to do. Now, here's some bonuses for looking for infill lots, okay, in town. You get a house and maybe it's on a 1/4 acre. Talk to planning and zoning and see if you can split the lot without having to do the whole big subdivision process. Like I mentioned before about the money and the time. You don't have to. Administrative law split. You split it at the administrative level. That's the operative word. Administrative. Okay, there's a bureaucrat sitting in City Hall or the county, and their administrator. Okay, they get paid 401k and dental insurance and all that great stuff, right? And they have the authority to approve administrative level. This split. Okay, so now you got 2 lots, or maybe if it's zoned like R4. You have a larger lot, maybe 1/3 of an acre. Sometimes you do, not all the time, but if you do, check. And you might be able to build multiple houses on it. So now you got 4 lots. Boom! You just made a lot of money, right? I'm making a phone call. Okay. The other option is whenever you look at a house, okay, when you're, looking, in a typical wholesale deal, okay, always look at a legal description, because sometimes you're going to have properties that you get on a contract when you're wholesaling, kind of thing. You have 2 legal descriptions, or maybe 3 even. Okay, look at those legal descriptions. Pull out the plat map, because I'm telling you, if you can, sometimes you might have two legal descriptions, and one legal description has actual house on it, right? That you're trying to buy and sell, and the other legal description might just be an easement. Okay, you can do what's called a lot line adjustment. Adjust the lot line, get a surveyor out there, just move it around. So that now instead of having one house that you're going to wholesale, you've got a house you can wholesale plus a buildable lot, infill lot that you just got for free. Okay, like, well, I have to pay my surveyor $300, $700, $1,000. Okay, you got a buildable lot for $1,000. You see my point, right? Always look at that. Okay. The last thing is when you talk to, when you cruise around in town and stuff, you're going to find people with these lots, vacant lots, okay, infill lots that are potentially buildable. Instead of having to come up with all the cash to, for your cash buyer to, your buyer builder, cash buyer, that is, what you want to do is you want to make more money on your wholesaling that infill lot to them. Okay, do what's called a lot subordination agreement. Okay, and I've got a bunch of videos on this powerful strategy where essentially you tell the seller, look, I could give you 50 grand for this lot, next week, kind of thing. We close on it, but what if I could get you, $5 grand above, $55,000? That's not something you'd be interested in doing, is it? Now they're gonna go, well, how can you give me above retail kind of thing? And you're gonna say, I can't give it to you next week. I can give it to you in the next 8 to 12 months. They agree to do a lot subordination agreement on it. So that now then you then get it, you then wholesale that deal, the subordination, to a cash buyer or buyer builder. They're gonna pay you a nice fat fee instead of them having to come up with, $50,000 to buy this lot to build on it. All I gotta do is put down give you a wholesale fee kind of thing, right? 20 grand, say, right? It's pretty healthy, right? And then they control the lot, and then they'll get their build money. And then once that gets secured and recorded, the seller then jumps in the junior debt position. Anyways, strategies like that really will help you, okay? Infill lots are all over the place. Don't leave money on the table. Always be looking for infill lots because buyer builders want these things, okay? And all the unique places in town, right? And you know what I'm talking about. You drive through town, there's an empty lot. And hey, can I do something with that thing, right? Don't leave money on the table. This is a gold mine. They're all over the place, okay? And it's a onesie-twosie thing. It's not just en masse, right? You kind of just know what to look for. And add you extra $30,000, $40,000 per month into what you're already doing, okay? Or if you're just starting out, really helps you get on your feet quicker. So listen, if you have any questions, you want to talk, you want some mentorship, you want me to go through this in more detail with you, let me know. Send me an email. We'll set up a free strategy session, talk about mentorship, whatever you want, and I can help you out. God bless, and Godspeed. Talk soon.